two stars of the film, Nell Shipman and Bert Van Tuyle. I hope I'm saying that right. Which is, I think, a first. I don't think that has ever happened before, but the plot is like, oh my gosh, I'm having a real hard time with this film. Um, so, okay. Pretty much, it starts out with this young writer. She's sitting under a tree and she has her typewriter and she can't figure anything out. I mean, no inspiration. She's got writer's block. She watches these two people. She watches a guy on a horse and a guy in an automobile, and they're fighting. And one says that the automobile can't go where his horse goes. The other one says that he can go further than where the horse goes, and everything. And then they're off. They're off racing. And she's watching this, and all of a sudden, inspiration hits. And so it fades out, and then the next thing you know, you see these two guys, Sid and Bill Baxter. First of all, is it just me, or does it seem like in Western stories the name Bill Baxter comes up? I thought that when I was watching the movie, I was like, Bill Baxter, that's just a Western name. Because it just seems to come up every time. So Sid says that he got a letter from somebody and said that they were coming. They were a writer and everything. So she's coming to visit. Bill and him, they're going back and forth waiting for the stage to come in. She comes in. It's love at first sight. Now, it's kind of, good for me, but at the same time, because it's like they spoke for 3 seconds and all of a sudden he's just madly in love with her. But when, during the war and even after the war, till about 1922, there were quite a few films that were showing the love at first sight thing, and so I can't really fault it that much, but it's still kind of, you know, I'm not sure why I have such a problem with it, but it's not realistic. But I guess I shouldn't really say that, because I know some people that they know each other for like 3 days and then they marry for like 60 years, so I shouldn't really say that. Before I have people all up in my business. So, yes, I do know that there are people like that. Anyway, so now he has this dog in his car, and now she just fell in love with the dog. I mean, she was petting it, she was hugging it, he gave her the dog. And I mean, and at one of the cards said, "You love the dog, why can't you love me?" I'm like, oh dear Lord, really? That's just me. The writing was kind of weird for me. I just kind of, I don't know. So anyway, they go off to Sid's ranch. She and Sid, along with the dog, which is Laddie. She doesn't have a name. The character does not have a name, which I thought was weird. The dog has a name, but whatever. She's just female writer. But anyway, all of a sudden you see Bandit. They put the bandits thing in there, which I didn't really have a problem with. They're in Mexico, bandits. All right, whatever. I mean, in 1992, when Young Indiana Jones was going, the reason Indiana Jones ended up in the war was he was kidnapped by bandits in Mexico. I'm sure it'll bother somebody, but it's the 20s. It was a thing. Just, get over it. It doesn't happen anymore. And I think the funniest thing was they did the whole thing where they were going to take her away to Hell's Kitchen. Of course, we know what Hell's Kitchen is now. It's that whole thing with Gordon Ramsay, but they did the thing where they, the bandits had to go to their secret hideout place and everything. It's called Hell's Kitchen. It was so predictable. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, this is like out of a dime novel. Please tell me you know what a dime novel is. But it was so bad. And I mean, they came and they took all the horses because of course they did. That was, the bandit thing to do. And they tortured the owner, which at first I thought they were going to kill him, but they didn't. They just tortured him a little bit because she stepped in. And so they didn't so much, they tortured him a little bit, and then they tied him up and left him there. Bill Baxter decided that he was going to go and visit Laddie, because that's totally what he was going to do. And it took him forever to go there. I mean, they wasted like 10-15 minutes of him just kind of, it made no sense. It was like they were trying to be poetic or something, or trying to be like, I don't even know what. It was like, just go to the place, dude. I was getting really mad because it was like, this is supposed to be the hero and he has no clue what he's doing. And he finally goes to the ranch, and of course Sid tells him what happens. No horses. And he says, oh, but I have my car. I liked Sid. I really did. I liked the character. He was a lot of fun. But that was like the only character that I liked. And I didn't mind the girls so much. I really didn't, But they wasted so much time showing this car going up and over the rocky terrain and everything. This 1 hour movie, it was probably a little over an hour, depending. They could have cut it to 30 minutes. I'm not even joking. It was boring. Now, I understand. Now, the title of the movie is Something New. I get it. It's a car. Something new. Cars are still a new thing. And, and the idea of having a car was new. And it really bothered me. I mean, I fast forward through some of it, I pushed through a lot of it because it was just like, why did they do this? It was just ridiculous. And they were going back and forth, well, between the bandits and that, and it was just like, this is terrible. Because I was seeing more of Bill Baxter pushing through of this car. Just, I was like, oh my gosh. The ending was a surprise, so I'm glad that I pushed through it to actually watch the ending. And so, but oh my heavens. The thing is, you didn't get like, one thing that I appreciated was that you didn't get like this massive overload of fall in love nonsense, like they tend to do sometimes. I was really hoping that didn't happen, and it didn't. I was like, thank goodness. Oh my gosh. Um, when you watch it, it feels very predictable. It it is. It's very predictable. You, quite honestly, if it was almost like they saw this story before and they just decided to do it again, but with a car. It was just, I don't, and I didn't have a problem with her, and the problem, I really did. It started out strong, and then it just went fast. And like I said, I liked the character Sid. I thought he was a lot of fun. I wish he was in it more. I don't understand why they fixated so much on watching this car go all over the terrain and everything, and it was a long time. I mean, it was just, why are you doing this? And then also when Baxter's just standing there, I mean, it was like we had to sit there and watch him figure out this whole idea of going to the ranch. It's like, just go. Why are you standing? I, it was like they were trying to be poetic or whatever, or it was like, I don't know what it was. I couldn't figure it out. I was getting irritated. I'm like, just go! Find the man! Find out what happened to the girl. It was. Just, it was an hour movie that could have been a lot shorter. And I don't know why they. I get the point of I get a lot of the points that they were trying to make with the automobile and everything, but they dragged it, and, and it was annoying. So anyway, yeah, I was irritated. I got very irritated. I was actually yelling at my screen, just go! Why are you doing that? I have never gotten so passionate watching a film before. I really have not. I think this is a first. But the film is titled Something New. It was released in 1920. Again, the film's stars, Nell Shipman and Bert Van Tuyle, directed and wrote it. There's not much of a plot there, but I thought maybe they had something going with a car company, because Perry Mason, a lot of the reason why you see a lot of the cars in that show is because they had an agreement with Ford Company or something like that, if I remember right. But this, I couldn't find any. I don't know why it was stretched out as long as it was. They could have just cut it to 30 minutes. It was just, oh man. I don't think I've ever been so disappointed in a film before. But you know, that's my opinion, and I always am open to what you guys have to say. Again, the ending was a surprise. I'm glad I saw it for what it was, and so yeah, that's something new.